Welcome back, YouTubers, to our WWE Summerslam preview / predictions video of us, the British Fist.
Catching!
Back here today with NJ. Thank God. I much prefer doing my previews and reviews and videos of NJ over than that Terminator NJ that did this to me. Hopefully this will be coming off at SummerSlam, hopefully tomorrow. Subscribe up above, like this video, comment your thoughts in that comment section below going into SummerSlam, and yes.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the box below.
Yes, and I don't know whether we did this already, NJ, but I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me, because I know you guys love it and don't deny it, you do. It's none other than NJ.
What's up?
What's up to you guys indeed. So, yes, so going into SummerSlam, I'm hearing some rumours on the rumour mill that Terminator NJ says he's going to be doing something at SummerSlam. I wonder what that is.
There is a big thought and big going around that he wants to be a part of SummerSlam to make his statement true in there.
Yeah, and you can follow him on Twitter at Terminator NJ, or go like his Facebook page. Why you would like a Facebook page after he did that attack on me on Raw, I don't know.
And poor Simon.
Yeah, and poor Simon as well. A little update on Simon, by the way. He's currently paralysed in the Peterborough Hospital where we live, and we'll just say this. We went to see him the other day, and I don't think he'll be coming back to the UK again. Just say that. One of our biggest fans, Terminator NJ, just took out
we had a big mouthful from the parents saying we sent our kid to be with you, to be respected and looked after, and look what we did to him.
Yeah, that's terrible, wasn't it, man? I cried a little bit over that. But anyway, let's just move on because we don't want to be sad and depressed in this review. Simon will live, it's just that he'll be paralysed. So, SummerSlam. It's a bit of a somber way to start the video, isn't it? But SummerSlam this year, what do you think of the build going in? Because I think definitely the build has been a lot better than last year, in my opinion.
Again, the WWE are pretty much good at this, as we've seen over the last few years. People could say is that they concentrate on the important matches, and all the other matches, the mid-card and below, don't really get as much attention as they deserve. So I think they've done well with the main events, but not really the undercard. See,
I don't think that at all. I think they've done all right with the main events, in my opinion. But they've also given us mid-card matches, which I can actually care about. They've given us, like, Ziggler versus Jericho. I mean, even like a Sandow Brodus Clay match, I do in some way or shape care about. They have built up some other stuff other than the main 2 title matches and the main event. And I am looking forward to this pay-per-view in general. I just think after last year getting 6 matches, and this year we got a possible, 11 matches with the feuds that they built on the shows and stuff, however big or bad they are. You know, we could have a stacked card this SummerSlam, which, let's face it, for the first time in a while, we do need a pay-per-view, even if some of them aren't announced. There's 7 announced matches right now, but there are about 4 we could get based on what we've seen on the TV show build.
And even though a part of SummerSlam is going to be a live performance of people who are giving us this theme song, I think that should be kept to 1 song just so they can use the rest of the time with the matches.
Because they will need it, because they could have 11 matches on this show if they you know, showcase every feud that they've shown on the TV. They probably won't do that, but I'm looking forward to this show. I've enjoyed the build. It's been generally quite good. The matches have been built to quite well, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to this time.
Well, as we go into the review, you'll hear that I think some of these matches were just thrown in there, and I just don't think they're rightly done. But majority of the matches I'm looking forward to.
Yes, so SummerSlam 25th anniversary matches we have. We have 4 matches which we feel may be on the show that haven't really been announced yet. The first of which is a possible Divas Championship match with Bayley and Beth Phoenix, maybe?
They only teased that once since the last match, and that was that tag match they did. And okay, it's going to happen, but I don't really see Beth getting the title back. So Layla will probably retain.
I don't even see this match happening, really. They haven't showed the Divas on TV. Mind you, they've done that before and shown a Divas match, so who really knows? Cody versus Sin Cara is another option. Cody Rhodes is a guy who I feel should be at SummerSlam, and possibly even Sin Cara. They have built this over the last couple of weeks or so. We didn't think Cody Rhodes would have anything going into SummerSlam, but maybe this could be something for him to have at SummerSlam at least.
The sad thing about this is Cody Rhodes hasn't had the best booking. You could say neither has Sin Cara, but at the moment Sin Cara is getting a better booking over Cody Rhodes, and we all thought that Cody Rhodes was going to be the one to go into the main event. Not the title picture maybe, but the main event. But they're delaying that. And Sin Cara's getting these wins over Cody. So I'm looking at this pay-per-view match and thinking, who are they going to side with and why? You could say
Sin Cara.
Sin Cara, because obviously him being the younger star, they want to push him, but Cody Rhodes deserves it. So
Cody Rhodes should win, really, shouldn't he? My boy should win. My boy's on pay-per-view, and he should win, unlike last year's SummerSlam when he should have won the IC belt. But there we go. I'm so glad I'm getting this off, hopefully tomorrow, NJ, because this hurts. Still hurts. Ryback versus Jinder Mahal is a feud they've been building to. They've usually put Ryback on pay-per-view, so you'd expect they'd have this match on there and Ryback go over Jinder Mahal after the amount of times he's been escaping Ryback?
And for a while now, I've been saying that Jinder is a guy who the WWE want to push, but Ryback's the guy who the WWE know they want to push. And the thing is, Mahal on the go-home shows, he's been away touring elsewhere, so they didn't really promote this match very well on the go-home show. So anyway, I'm a bit delayed, a bit sad by that, but it's still a match that's going to give Ryback a win over someone he's temporarily feuded with.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well have announced this match before time because we know it's going to be on the card. In my opinion, the focus here is definitely should be all about Ryback because whether we like it or not, the guy could be a future big top star for the company. They need to put as much focus on this babyface star as possible, really, in my opinion. This is why he's getting these random wins at pay-per-views because they're always trying to get him on pay-per-view, aren't they?
They are indeed, and in time, things are going to go much better for him.
Another match which could be very, very likely added to the pay-per-view is no, that's the pre-show match, NJ. I'm talking about Damien Sandow versus Brodus Clay here. A match which, I must admit, involves Damien Sandow, a character who I really do enjoy, and Brodus Clay, a character who, if played right, I can enjoy too. So, and this feud, I think, has been built decently well for a mid-card feud. I think this is going to be a decent match.
Brodus Clay, I seriously do not care about. Bunker Swords, I'll get lost, mate. And all I'll say about this is that it seems like we all know that Sandow deserves better. We'll get to in a minute. Brodus Clay, I really don't care about. He's had feuds that could have kicked off somewhere, but they died quickly. So this match, as good as it is going to give Sandow a win over a big guy because I don't think Brodus Clay is going to go anywhere. I still think this is pretty poor for Sandow.
I hope they make Sandow win this match, and to be honest with you, I hope they continue the feud because I feel there's more to be done with Brodus Clay being the Funkasaurus and Sandow being like the man speaking about all the names, etc. So you have Sandow go over here, especially with Brodus Clay's knee injury, and and then it continues the feud. I think that's what I think will happen. I think that should happen.
Sandow should win, but overall, as much as I'm looking forward to seeing Sandow in a better match than what he's had in the past, because I think this match could get a bit of time because you've got to get a big guy and Sandow, but overall I'm just not so pumped about this.
Yeah, and those are just the matches that aren't even announced yet, guys. Let's go on to the 7 matches announced for this card.
Summerslam, the time where anything could happen. Well, mortals, I'll make something happen. Stay tuned.
So the first thing we should really talk about here is really the pre-show match. This is the first officially announced match on the card. Santino versus Antonio Cesaro. For a pre-show match, this has actually had some pretty decent build, in my opinion. You've had Cesaro beat Santino twice. They have tried to continue this feud as well. Santino versus Antonio Cesaro. You see Santino winning this one, I guess?
I think as it's pre-show and Cesaro is not really my choice for United States champion, I think they'll give Santino the win. But I can see why they're doing this match. Cesaro is coming to be a star that's actually going to somehow go somewhere. So him feuding with Santino will get him somewhere. But I don't know, I'm just not so pumped about seeing Cesaro versus United States champion when it should have been against Sandow.
And I would have preferred Santino versus Sandow. I think that there was more to be done there. But he's in a feud with Brodus Clay now, which I'm quite happy with. Cesaro here, in my opinion, I wonder if they are going to make him win. I mean, they've had him beat Santino twice now, and you've got to think to themselves, WWE know this guy is a star, but it's just in the sense that, will they actually kickstart off the push with this United States belt? Because apparently, from what I'm hearing backstage, it's either do or die, but Antonio Cesaro. Been given a shit gimmick, though, in my opinion.
You could say that too. And the thing about this match, number one, titles don't normally change hand at pre-shows.
No.
And the other thing is, I think that Cesaro, I'm going to stick to it. Cesaro is not really the right choice. We've got United Champions coming up, where I think it'll be the time for Santino to lose the United States Championship, so not on SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think if they have Cesaro win here, they put him in a feud with Christian, maybe going into two United Champions, but who really knows? So, in my opinion, it should be a decent pre-show match. I mean, it's pre-show, so well, you can't really expect too much from it. The Tag Team Championship match, yes, we have a Tag Team Championship match announced for SummerSlam, guys. How amazing and how easy was it to book that, WWE? R-Truth and Kofi Kingston, who is the champions, versus the Primetime Players with no AW. And I'm sorry, whatever you guys say, the Primetime Players just are not anywhere near the same without a W. I'm sorry.
I will say this, though. When they had their first appearance on a show without Amy Washington, they did look quite dominant and did make them step forward, like when they attacked R-Truth. That looked pretty good. So I think they could still battle out. But when it comes to mic time, especially if they come champions. I don't think it'll work out the best for them.
I do wonder who they're going to make win here. I do wonder if the AW departure will have affected the Primetime Players push because he was a massive part of that tag team. I'd like to see the Primetime Players go over here. I'd love to have seen them go over with Abraham Washington by their side, and WWE should definitely rehire the guy after they realise the mistake they've made. So I don't really know who's going to win this one now. I would have said Primetime Players before the AW release, but now I'm thinking maybe more likely R-Truth and Kingston, although I think Primetime Players should win.
Well, what I'm going to say straight up is as much as I want to see probably more to do with R-Truth, they're not really defending their belts as much as they could do, but I do think Primetime Players, yes, they've got no Abraham Washington, but as the fact that they've been waiting for this moment, the fact this is their second tag title shot, and the fact that they are still the future tag, and they've been mentioned many times, I do think they'll get the chance to see if they can survive on their own.
Just glad to see a tag team championship match on pay-per-view, NJ, especially a big one like Summerslam. We don't see that very often nowadays. The Intercontinental Championship is also on the line on a pay-per-view. Yay! Miz versus Mysterio. You know, they went from this Christian-Miz feud very quickly onto Miz and Mysterio. I think my feelings on this match are pretty much, it's not had like great build or anything, but they'll have a good match. So that's all I really need to say about that one.
Well, this has been meant to have happened before, but they didn't really have this feud going. So the fact they're doing it now, I'm happy for it, and I'm not. I'm happy for it because it's going to be a good match if they book Miz and Rey Mysterio properly. But I would have saw Mysterio going to a feud with Del Rio, taking Del Rio at the top picture, and Miz and Christian for another rematch instead of on free TV at SummerSlam.
And to be honest, I would have built to a Miz-Christian rematch. I really would have liked to have that. But Miz and Ray, I think, will put on a very good match. I think Miz has to win here, in my opinion. But they should at least have what should be a very good match, as these two have shown last year, going into SummerSlam, could work pretty well together before Rey Mysterio's injury.
As much as I think Miz should go over, if we have a face Intercontinental Champion, that might give the chance for Cesaro or Sandow or other heels. So in a way, I'm two-sided. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Miz.
Yeah, Miz or Rey as IC Champion would probably work, in my opinion. If you have Rey as Mysterio champion, you have all these. If you have Rey as Mysterio, I meant IC champion, you have all these heels lined up for him to feud with. But I feel they keep it on Miz for now. Maybe I can lose it in my champions. Who really knows?
They should do for better booking.
Kane versus Daniel Bryan is our next match. I must admit, if they don't have Charlie Sheen involved here, I really don't care about this match. As much as I like Daniel Bryan and the new gimmick he's got, I know they've rushed to it a little bit, but I like the new gimmick they're giving him with the psychotic. No! But in a feud with Kane, really?
Well, with Kane, we've seen him involved with Punk and Daniel Bryan a while now. The fact they're going to continue on, I'm thinking this is going to be a one-night thing. I think the match will either not finish because of Charlie Sheen, or Kane will pick up the win here. I don't see why Bryan would win. I think Kane's going to get the win, and this will lead on to a Sheen segment.
I just don't see. We've seen this so many times now, and if they don't have Sheen involved here, I really won't care about it too much. Other than Daniel Bryan interacting with fans at ringside going, no! That's all I'll care about. Move on to the next match, which we're both very much looking forward to. This match will probably steal the show in terms of a pure wrestling match. Ziggler versus Jericho. The Money in the Bank winner, Ziggler, in a big feud finally against a big superstar like Chris Jericho. I think this is more about Dolph Ziggler and getting him in a big program, really, and elevating him so he can probably become a World Heavyweight Champion more than anything, which is why I'm liking the idea of a Ziggler-Jericho feud, and I've liked it ever since day one, and this should be a very, very good match.
Well, the fact that you've got two great performers, good at selling, and you've got Jericho being the big wrestler going up against Ziggler. The only problem I have with this is that everyone's debating about Jericho's had horrible booking since he came back.
Yes.
Maybe if they do it this way, put on a great match, have Ziggler just win, and then when Jericho comes back again, have his booking better then. But I think this time it should be Ziggler.
I'm trying to think if it's really... Will they have Jericho beat Ziggler here? I mean, I'm trying to think... If Jericho is going to leave, which he may do, apparently he has a Fonzie tour coming up, but... You know, will they have Ziggler go over here? So I really hope they do. I mean, it'll be a big win for Dolph Ziggler, but I'm wondering if Ziggler is at that level yet where he could legitimately, believably get a win over Jericho. I mean, this has been built very well with the whole, Ziggler saying Jericho hasn't got it anymore and he's not a big-time player anymore. I've enjoyed the build to this. I've really enjoyed this match.
This is going to be very good, but the reason I'm saying Ziggler is because if Jericho's about to clear off, get a win over Jericho, so he's gone, he can't get a rematch in that. Ziggler's left on his own with the win, so Ziggler.
I agree with Ziggler. I think Jericho may win, personally. I don't really know. We'll see what happens at the pay-per-view. World Heavyweight Championship match next. Sheamus versus Del Rio for the second time on WWE pay-per-view this year. You know what? I didn't really care about this feud until that Corrupt Cops segment that happened. And it was at that point where I thought to myself, well, I know Sheamus is going to win. We all know Sheamus is going to win. But if Sheamus does win, at least I'll feel he would have overcome some kind of obstacle in Del Rio. Del Rio's booking has been a little bit better. I still know Sheamus is going to win, but I'm looking forward to this match a little bit to a lot more than the last match they had, which was really poorly built to.
Even though they've tried to make this different, the match is still going to be the same. Del Rio might look aggressive in this, but somehow it's going to turn around and fail, and Sheamus is going to pick up the win. I'll be surprised if they make Del Rio the win, being the heel, especially if we have all these other heels stepping up eventually. So I'm predicting Sheamus to get the win.
I think Sheamus should win here, and I think this should be an opportunity for WWE to take Del Rio out of the title picture and reinvent his character, build him up a little bit more to make him look a little bit more legit. That's all I can say. This should be a good match, but it will be kind of same old shit, but in the same way, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Will Ziggler cash in his Money in the Bank, I think, is another question. Will they do a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam?
Well, the question I was going to ask is, will the World Heavyweight title match be near the beginning of the card? So then the Jericho match can happen. But the only thing is, I think the Jericho match should come beforehand. So he's got the win over Jericho, and then he cashes in there. So he's done two great things at SummerSlam.
You'd imagine both these matches to be higher up on the card, with the undercard matches we have being pretty strong. So, who really knows? Ziggler could cash in at SummerSlam. I feel they should build him up a little bit more and do it down the line, but it's always an option WWE have, really. Then we get to Triple H versus Lesnar. We thought this was going to be the main event until we heard news that it wasn't going to be. Apparently, it could still be the main event, and it was the main event of the go-home show with the main angle. So I thought it really should have been the main event, in my opinion. But I'm sitting there thinking maybe they've got something big lined up for the WWE Championship match. Your thoughts going into Triple H and Lesnar?
Well, two things I want to say. With the main event wise, they've got Brock Lesnar on the cover, so in a way they're promoting him as the big thing in this. And with Lesnar not getting many matches, maybe he deserves the main event as much as he can before he clears off.
He's a draw, isn't he?
So in a way, I would say, yes, Cena is in the main event, blah, blah, blah. But I think Brock Lesnar may deserve it, especially with Triple H, who doesn't really wrestle as much as he used to.
Yeah.
But when I look at this match, one, I don't really care as much as I want to about it, because Lesnar's booking's been absolutely dreadful. I'm just like, whoever wins here, great. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so for a main event match, it's not got you really looking for. To try it really should have had great build this, but it started off okay. It got a little bit after no TV time, and then they started ramping it up a little bit. I'm not really looking forward to that too much either, other than the fact it's the first time they faced off.
Well, I'm looking forward, because they teased this, I've seen on WWE.com, that it's been teased in the past when they were both in the WWE in the past, and they never actually faced off until now. So in a way, it's got history behind it, and they're actually going to face off. But Lesnar needs to win, especially if he's going to make his WrestleMania opponent look like, oh, this is a threat, I'm in trouble here. At the minute, it looks like if Triple H wins or if Lesnar loses, it's going to be like you've returned and you've lost every match you've been in.
Lesnar has to win here. Even though in 2002, Triple H would never put over Brock Lesnar, he has to win this match, in my opinion. Lesnar has to win, simply because if you want to increase his drawing ability and marketability, you do need to give him this win over a guy like Triple H. What use could it do for Triple H to win this match? And it would do a lot more use for the WrestleMania buy race if you're going to make him go up against like a Taker. Because if, let's say he loses Triple H, if he goes up against Undertaker, who the fuck's going to believe he's going to win? He's lost to Triple H. Triple H lost to Undertaker. You know what I mean?
It looks pretty bad, but the thing that's got me interested in this is that the contract signing part, yes, because the way they did it, they didn't actually discuss that they actually read it and everything. Triple H just looked at Lesnar and went,
signed it without even looking at it.
So it's really got me thinking, with all this lawsuits going on and Heyman's clever working mind, is there going to be an angle following SummerSlam after Lesnar picks up the win?
Yeah, and it would be a great idea, wouldn't it? Heyman taking over WWE, maybe with the whole contract thing. That would be a pretty awesome angle, I think.
And then probably, if I, like I said in past videos, lead up to a rematch where Triple H may get the win and get the W back on his hands.
I guess, could be another. I personally wouldn't do that, but yeah, you have your ideas, I have mine, NJ. We have creative differences here at the British Fist sometimes, even though we're best of friends. So there we go. In the what is going to be, it's not billed as the main event, but Punk versus Big Show versus Cena is the WWE Championship match for this year's SummerSlam. I mean, what's this whole thing? The first thing I want to talk about is this whole thing with Punk. On the 1000th edition of Raw, he kind of seemed like he was turning heel. He's been like, we don't really know what's going on with CM Punk right now. I think that if this is going to be main event, this is going to need to have him turning full-blown heel, in my opinion.
Well, I have no doubt, even though on Raw you may have noticed that he could have gone either way, but the way I see it, he's got two big feuds coming his way,
yes.
Cena and The Rock, and they're two top bases. They're not going to change as being two top bases. Punk, on the other hand, has the ability to be a heel, so no matter what he does to tease this, tease that, in my eyes, he's the heel in these two feuds.
And to be honest with you, this being a triple threat match, Big Show is going to eat the pin, isn't he? Basically, that's what's going to happen. Big Show is going to eat the pin. Punk and Cena is going to be the main event at Night of Champions, you would imagine. And, you know, this should be a decent match. But I think the big picture here, really, for us as fans is, what are they going to do at Royal Rumble after this Punk turning heel? And then what are they going to do at Mania? Are they going to do Cena versus Rock at the Royal Rumble, with then have Punk versus Rock at Mania? Or are they going to do Punk versus Rock at Rumble with Cena and Rock at WrestleMania? That would be an interesting decision. Because, I mean, if Cena wins the belt here, he'll probably take it into Royal Rumble. Maybe he can win the belt at Night of Champions, I don't know. But, you know, I think Punk has to win this match. I really think he does, to establish his heel turn. And it'll be interesting to see where they go with regards to the championship afterwards. Will Cena have it at Royal Rumble, or will he have it at WrestleMania?
Well, the big thing is, we've seen Punk beat Cena once at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, okay, that may be pushing it, but Punk definitely deserves it, because even though he's had the title for a very long time, he has to eventually lose it. I think they should keep on making it look like CM Punk is a great champion. So when he goes up against The Rock at the Royal Rumble, the match is set, you have a great champion versus a great challenger, bam, match gold. Cena and Rock, if that was to come at Royal Rumble, no thank you.
But it would lead to a more interesting match at Mania, would you not agree? Punk versus Rock, which could do a bit more for the company rather than having Cena in the main event.
That is a way to go, but at the moment I just really want to avoid seeing Cena and Rock again.
They could even have John Cena pin Big Show and then have a rematch with Punk maybe. Who really knows? It just depends where they want to go with the WWE Championship going into Royal Rumble, really.
Or the small factor is that at SummerSlam, Big Show's going to get the win and then lose it at Night of Champions just to swerve the WWE Sports.
Punk has to win here, in my opinion, because he's just turned heel. He has to win these WWE. I know they've been going on for a long time, guys, but there's a lot to talk about in this SummerSlam because there is a lot there. So yeah, so do you think this is going to be a good pay-per-view then? I feel it has the potential to be a very good SummerSlam.
Even though I said some of these matches haven't been the best build or the best nicely done, SummerSlam is looking like a pay-per-view that I would love to see, love to watch, looking forward to the outcome, and they're probably throwing a few surprises here and there to add more to this SummerSlam. So I think this SummerSlam is definitely worth watching.
Main thing for me is that the card is stacked with feuds that have been built for quite some time, which should help my viewing of the show a lot. So they could add in a couple more matches if they want to fill up the card, and they'll have a musical performance, which I don't care about, but there we go. I think it could be a very good SummerSlam. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, what you think going into SummerSlam in the comment section below, of course, if you've made it to the end of this view, as we've been going for, 23.5 minutes now. Do you want to wrap it up, MJ?
Yes, I'll do, Dan. Let me say this, people. Thank you very much for tuning into this video. Please share your predictions in the comment section below and tune in for SummerSlam and our review. Until next time, from Mr. Parkin and me, MJ, thank you very much, YouTubers, and goodbye.